Hi folks, Clinton Smount here. I wanted to talk about when your hill climb on your adventure touring bike doesn't go as you plan. I'm a bit of an expert at crashing, so I'll deal with you're going up a hill, you fall, you drop your bike. What's the best way to pick it up, turn around and come back down? Now I say pick it up and turn around because if you fall on a steep hill, you might be able to pick up your bike, but the likelihood of being able to go from a stopped position to the top of that hill is pretty unlikely. If you have the option, I would always try to turn around, come back down, then hit it again, maybe with a bit more momentum if that's the problem that caused you to fall in the first place. So be careful doing this. It's best to borrow your buddy's bike. But I'm going to be very careful because this brand new GSA is BMW's, it's not mine. But I'll be careful. And it's soft grass. So I'm gonna go up, use the wrong brake or something, tip the bike over, and then I'll explain what we're gonna do. Woo! So here we are. The bike tipped over when I dropped it on the hill. As I was saying earlier, this is going to be a really hard task, picking it up and continuing on up this very steep hill with wet grass. I don't think I could do it. You would probably just end up making a big hole with the back tire. A better way is to turn it around and then go down the hill. But to turn a fairly big motorcycle like a GSA on an incline is pretty challenging. I'm not that strong. So I'm going to use some brains instead of brawn. The beautiful thing about a GS is it's got these engine guards and the head sticking out. That's a great pivot point. So what I'm going to do is just grab the front wheel, slide the bike on the wet grass until it's pointing downhill, then pick it up and go down the hill. One of the beauties about a fuel-injected motorcycle, if you have it, when it's laying on its side like this, it's not peeing gasoline out into the environment. As soon as it shuts off, all fuel flow's gone. So that's a big plus. So once it's on the ground, I'm just gonna grab the spokes and drag the bike. I'm pivoting it. And it's best if the tire is flat to the ground. And just be very careful you don't get your hands anywhere near the brake rotor. Now it's almost to the position I need. And I'm using the roundness of the tire to help me, folks. You can see it's almost ready to go. I think that's pretty good. Now, best way to lift up a bike like this is call 3 friends. If you don't have 3 friends, the other way is use leverage. Many people do this. That's a good way to throw your bike over. I'm going to use the handlebars. I've left it in gear, so it's not going to roll away. If it wasn't in gear, take a glove off, lock your front brake on, because I'm going to put all my weight, our hands, on the left clutch side. Get it at full lock and just stand it up. Now the back tire's moving a bit, but eventually first gear is going to hold it. Then, when I'm ready to go, light it up. I'm going to do what we call the Roy Rogers start and ride it down the hill. So to summarize, folks, if your bike falls when you're trying to go up a hill, don't panic and pick it up with the engine still running. It's more likely going to crash again. Shut it off if it hasn't stalled already, and then take a minute to ponder, have a look around. Maybe the way I showed you is your best option. With the bike lying on the ground, there's no damage going to happen to it with good protection. This bike even has some cylinder head guards. They might be a tiny bit scratched after something like that, but that's what it's made for. These are very tough motorcycles. Spin the bike around until the front wheel is pointing downhill. Then leave it in gear. Lift it up with the handlebar, and when you've got your breath back, jump back on and ride it back down the hill. Try the hill a second time. Or If you decide that maybe you just can't do that hill because of the traction that day, or it is too steep, go practice on smaller ones. So that's getting your bike off a hill after you've fallen. I'm Clinton Smout from the Smart Riding Adventures.